Hey everybody, my name is Jim. In this video, we're going to be checking out what I believe to be one of, if not the best value HSS style guitars that you can get on the market today. The Sterling by Music Man Cutlass CT-50 Plus. This guitar, man, there's a few things that a lot of people complain about with vintage style Stratocasters design-wise that they say were a little bit different. This guitar basically has all of them and then a little bit more. And I'm really stoked that I've given the opportunity to borrow this guitar from Zounds. No, I don't get to keep it, nor was I paid by Ernie Ball Music Man to make this video. This is just me interested in this guitar. They let me borrow it so I can make this for you guys. I'm going to start by pointing out 5 things I love about this guitar's design. The spoke wheel at the bottom of the neck is where you're going to do your truss rod adjustments, and I love that for 2 reasons. Number 1, keeps things really simple. You don't have to remove the neck or even the strings if you want to make slight little tweaks to your setup. And number 2, it keeps the headstock nice and clean. It's a kind of aesthetic thing, but I like it way better having the spoke wheel down here as opposed to access at the top of the headstock. Next is the location of the volume control. This is something that a lot of players kind of complain about when it comes to the older style Strats and even some of the more modern Stratocaster style instruments that are out there. It's a little bit further away, so you're less likely to accidentally hit it and potentially rub off a little bit of the volume while you're playing accidentally. I play a lot of funk. Sometimes it happens to me and, it's not ideal, but with this guitar, I don't have that problem whatsoever. Having the output jack on the side of the instrument is something that I just prefer. It's not going to make a huge difference in terms of playability or tone, but what it does do is it keeps things a lot cleaner on the front of the instrument, and then it makes when you're standing up and playing long gigs, plug in a right angled cable, run it right through behind your strap, and you just stand up. You don't have to worry about anything, and it's just a reliable connection. The next thing is a little bit more practical, especially if you're a lead player, you're going to appreciate this. The sculpted heel on these guitars is pretty much the exact same as you're going to find on the American ones. It is so comfortable. It's one of the only ones that I've found where in practice it actually works and it's not just a gimmick. I love the way that it feels. And finally, the neck itself for a multitude of reasons, starting with the actual finish on it. It's a roasted maple neck, but it doesn't have one of those really cheap feeling satin finishes on it, and it feels like I'm playing a premium instrument when I sit and I play with this guitar. The shape of it, also super familiar. It's a C shape, and it's not exactly big, not exactly small. It's just a really happy medium size. It's going to work for a lot of players. The radius on this guitar is 12, so it's a bit flatter than what I'm used to, but what that allows you to do is to have your action is a lot lower than you would on, say, a vintage 7¼ inch radius guitar. So you can play super fast on one of these instruments. Combine that with the sculpted neck heel. It's a big plus in my book. And then finally, the icing on the cake is that they didn't put gigantic frets on this guitar. This has 22 medium-sized frets. Now let's hear what it sounds like. There were two things I didn't talk about in the beginning of this video because it made way more sense to me to talk about them after we had heard what the guitar sounds like. The pickups. Yeah, this format is one of the most popular for a reason, especially among studio musicians and people that play a wide variety of genres at gigs, because HSS, really any genre you can think of, it's going to be able to handle it pretty well. But this specific set was a lot better than I kind of anticipated. When I did the one test, you would have seen some text on the screen. I was playing with gain on the neck pickup, and then I just adjusted my pick attack. I didn't roll off the volume whatsoever, and it just cleaned up so well. It retained so much high end, and that's all I can ever ask for out of a single coil pickup. Flip over to the bridge, and it's thrice. It's just thrice. You play it through the right amp, and it's just super high gain if you want it there. You can get, those classic sorts of sounds with lower gain, but it's really, really, really fun to throw a lot of gain at this instrument because it handles it super well. And finally, the vibrato on this guitar is of the 2-point variety. It is incredibly stable. I was able to do stuff as far as dive bombs. I didn't do any in the demo, but just testing to make sure it was going to stay in tune, all the way to like the warble surf stuff that I just love playing on all sorts of different guitars that have a vibrato equipped to them. It stays in tune like an absolute champ. And yeah, that says a lot about not only how this was set up, but the fact that the nut on this guitar was actually cut properly, because if you have problems in either of these areas and you start using the bar, it's just not going to stay in tune like this guitar does. The main reason that I feel so strongly about this guitar compared to other guitars that are of a similar format, of a similar price, and in some cases even 2 times the cost of this one, is the hardest thing for me to portray to you guys that are watching the video. It's a feel thing. It's not just the actual neck profile. It's not just the actual neck shape, the finish. It's just the overall thing. When you sit and you play this guitar, it does not feel like a $500, $600, $700 guitar. It doesn't even feel like a $1,000 guitar. It feels like a much, much, much pricier instrument. And it's one of those things where sometimes the specs line up, but you sit and you play a guitar and you're like, it really doesn't do anything for me. It functions, but it's fine. I don't love it. It's whatever, and gets the job done. But a guitar like this, it kind of is mental to me that it costs as little as it does in reality, because it feels the part. It really does. It's not something that leaves you wanting more, but I will say this to kind of preface 2 things. Number one, my wife has been egging me to get a Sterling electric guitar because she loves her Sterling Music Man Stingray bass, and she's always said you need to get one of these as well so we can have a pair when we go out and we perform, and I can see why she loves hers so much. But secondly, I have experience with the Ernie Ball American-made instruments. I don't think that this is as good as one of those. There's a few things in particular about those that really set those apart from not just the Sterling line of guitars, but a lot of other brands. That's a story for a different day. But all things considered, if you're just looking for a great value, something that feels great, that's going to be able to cover so many bases, be reliable, you're going to have a hard time beating something like this. If you want to learn more about the Sterling guitars or buy one for yourself, there's a link in the description that'll take you to Zounds where you can check them all out. But that's it for today. For questions, comments, and or concerns, feel free to use the comments section down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit like on the video if you haven't already. You made it till the end. It's the least you can do for me. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy, everybody.